Alright, hi. Everything's taken care of, so we can get started on the stream. It's okay if you can only stick around for a little bit, because I know today's Valentine's Day and people have plans, and, I'm just okay with, sorry, what was I saying? It's okay if you can only stick around for a little while. By all means, you should really be spending today with your family if that's, or if you've got plans, you should definitely be doing your plans instead of hanging out here. This one, I'm actually gonna do two versions of it, but I'm probably going to cap the live stream with the second version. I'm just gonna do the first version, which is this one, and I'm gonna play it straight this time, because I have one normal version and one funny one. Actually, let me show you both, just since we're here. Here's the normal version. He's gonna have, like, cat whiskers painted on his face, and she's holding a Sharpie. But that's for later. I'll do this one now. Okay, what to talk about? I don't know if Sir Kunamat's here yet. He was nice enough to give me a promo on his YouTube channel earlier. So that was really cool of him. Alright, I'm just gonna fill this in with a gray base. I would like to fill in this entire layer, if at all possible. There we go. And then I'll just hit Protect Alpha. And I forgot to mute my phone before I started this. I don't know what's up with me today, but that's muted now. So yeah, for my reference, I actually tracked down some model sheets online of Kirito and Asuna so that I could draw them properly. They're still a little bit off model, but it's not as bad as it would have been without the model sheets. Actually, let me not Protect Alpha for a second. I'm just gonna not layer. I want to set this to canvas. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So now I can hit Protect Alpha and fill in her hair color. I found Asuna's design isn't really as bad as, like, it's not, like, for a good while drawing this, I could have sworn that her outfit had a boob window, but as you can see, it does not. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. Because I was not expecting that. And like I just said, it's a nice surprise sometimes when you think a character that's designed a certain way actually isn't designed that way. Then we've got her outfit here is mostly white. As much as I really don't like SAO and like to diss it and make fun of it, it does have some pretty good character designs. I don't really care too much about the same face syndrome, just because a whole lot of other shows do that and don't get nearly as much flack for it, so it just really isn't a big deal to me. But, you know, even SAO does have its good points. They just don't happen to really save the show for me. So, let's just fill this in like that. What else can I talk about with this? For the line art, because I couldn't decide which version I wanted to do, I ended up actually doing the line art for both of them. Just hoping that it would help me decide. And for the line art, I used my pen tool on a very thin setting. I think it was 3. Let's see. That looks more like the right color. Speaking of pen tool on 3, let's set it to 3 right now so that I can fill in this part of her eye. And then let me zoom in on this reference a little bit more so that I can pick out the shade for the white of her eye right there. The line art for this is not actually black. I used a very, 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 very dark brown, and then set the line art layers to multiply. But if I set it back to normal, you'll be able to see it more clearly once I fill in Kirito. But yeah, the line art is actually black, it's just very, very dark brown. And then we'll just give her a highlight there. And then I will add another layer on top later. So, you've got that. I think I'm just going to fill in these gray details, and then I'll pull up Kirito's model sheet. And I know that her outfit does have some gold on it, but I will be adding that later, since for now my biggest concern is just getting the broad strokes filled in. There's a lot of really tiny details on their outfits that are not done in line art. They're actually done in coloring, so that's kind of cool. I know it's a common technique, but doesn't really make it less cool. So there's that dark gray. This part of her outfit needs to be filled in red. And then that is red. And then flesh tone there. And now I can pull up from my desktop Kirito's model sheet. Here we go. Now I do believe I set the line art back so that you'll be able to see more clearly that it isn't actually a normal black color that people usually do line art with. But yeah, you see that? How it doesn't really stand out? If I go up here and set the line art back to multiply, it's a little bit stronger. So I was pretty happy with how using that technique came out. Because it gives the illusion of colored line art without actually having to color the line art. Because that takes forever to do right. There we go. And yeah, I think I'm just about ready to move on to either shading or the next piece. Well, no, I still have to color in Kirito's eyes. Never mind. I forgot to draw his inner ears. Kirito's model sheet is not as comprehensive as Asuna's. So that's a bummer. But whatever. It is what it is. He also doesn't have as big of a highlight, I noticed. That might be an attempt to make Asuna look, I don't know, cuter, I guess? Alrighty. Let's just take a little dab of white, put it there, and for a minute I'm actually going to hide this layer and select my line art color, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix Kirito's ear because it's bothering me. And then I'm going to check the chat and see what you guys are up to. So let's go back down to a 3 here, and then like that, and like that, and like that, I guess. Let me flip this. There we go. Alrighty, now I can put the line art back, and I'm just going to minimize this and see what's going on. Alrighty. Same face syndrome is when a bunch of characters all look the same, even though they're supposed to be different characters. Yeah. Yeah, there were some interesting concepts in the show that really could have been developed more. But I guess, I don't know. You know, it wouldn't really kill me to write my own. Oh yeah, Fantasy Saurus. I don't know if you're still on, but I figured out why I had deja vu from drawing this. They actually do kind of look just a little bit like Jason and Aurora. It was a very quick little thing that I did, just to make sure I wasn't going crazy or anything. But for now, I'm gonna move on, because it is, what time is it? We're 18 minutes into this stream. Well, not 18 minutes into this stream, but it's 2:18, and I do have one plan that is going to take some time to do. So, I'm planning on making some cheese bread, but I don't have all the ingredients I need, so I need to run off to the store after this stream to pick up stuff, and then I also have to let some milk sit out so that it's lukewarm, and because that's what the recipe calls for. And that's the thing about making bread, is that it's mostly a waiting game. So it's ideal if you've got a bunch of other things to do, because while you're waiting for your bread to rise or for your milk to get lukewarm, you can get done all kinds of other things. Just as long as you don't forget it, because then you might have this mass of bread that just got out of control while it was rising. That is never a good thing, and luckily I don't think I've had it happen to me. But it is slightly cool, so it might take longer for the bread to rise, because there's not really anything I can think of that would give it the kind of warm humidity to let it rise quickly. Theoretically I could turn on the oven for a few minutes and then set it in the oven after the oven's cooled down for a bit, but I'd rather not do that. So, anyway, this is, I actually had this sketch almost done, because this was just something I was going to draw on my own, but I figured I could use the same sketch for the stream. It's based on a scene from the Legend of Zelda cartoon, but I retooled it so it would work inside the gummy ship, because it's from episode 5 of the Zelda cartoon, and basically what happens is Link is trying to swing into the room where Zelda is, and he's trying to flirt with her to try to get her to kiss him, but her father gives him a pat on the back, which knocks him off of his perch, and he ends up completely miscalculating his jump. So it does not go well. I repurposed this so that, I don't know, Chase stepped on someone's skateboard that was left out that he didn't see. So I also changed it because in the TV show it was Zelda's personal room. In this, it's just one of the common rooms, I guess. They got a Chase lounge for some reason. I don't know. Pretty much the only reason this is a Chase lounge is that it was a Chase lounge in the show. And I was using an actual screenshot. Hold on. If I pull my reference window out, this is still flipped, isn't it? Yeah, you can tell the show did not have a very high production quality. But anyway, I'm well past needing to use that reference for this drawing. So yeah, I decided to put a little more effort into certain elements of the drawing. I don't know. At this point I'm just talking and saying I don't know a lot. And I don't know a lot. But that's just neither here nor there. I forgot to put a title on the book that Claire's reading. If anyone has any suggestions, I don't know who's still online at this point, but I will be checking for suggestions for the title after I get done this line art. I was thinking about having her reading one of the fan fictions she's actually from, but I've also thought about giving it one of those weird and overly specific titles you find in a lot of language learning books, or just instructional books in general. I don't know, something really silly. I forget what some of the examples I had thought of were. Most of what I thought of came across as really cynical, though, so I wasn't going to use those because I don't want this piece to feel cynical. I want it to feel, adorable, you know? So I would prefer the book's title not come across as cynical. And then, of course, we've got the cat, whose face I have really messed up. I'm just going to bring his muzzle up a bit. I am not following any of the sketch here. Well, I'm not following much of the sketch, at least. The line art is still pretty weird because I brought my pressure sensitivity up again for the Kirito and Asuna drawing, and I forgot to set it back. So I'll have to set it back between streams, I guess. For now, we're just kind of stuck with this. It's weird. I guess I have a lot of pressure variation in how I hold things. Then again, it's easier to work with light pressure when you have a really thin brush. This isn't particularly thin for the size of drawing I'm working on. It probably doesn't help that I'm zoomed into 300%, but I like to make sure that my lines are all closed wherever possible, so that it's easier to get the coloring done. Let's see, it's got that spiral detail there, and then this cushion. I guess I have no idea how to draw a chase lounge. I'm guessing at this point. So there's this, I guess. No idea what I'm doing. Anyway, there's one leg. And then I'll do another layer for Chase's arm so that it's not all drawn through like this. There we go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm totally gonna cheat here and just bring that across and over here, and over here, and then the wall behind what's going on here. And then I'm gonna add just kind of a nice panel, because I always like to make it very clear that the gummy ship is in space. Because, I mean, what's the point of having something set in a spaceship if you don't have a star field behind it, you know? Alright. Set that there. There we go. And then we've got this other leg here, which is hidden by a torso. And then this is okay if it's not completely straight. Alright, new layer. I'm gonna just make that invisible. There's a hand, and we've got some stems poking out of this bouquet. And then I am probably going to copy and paste a lot of the flowers, depending on some stuff. Just because I've never really been able to draw roses convincingly. I don't know. It's never been convincing to me. Maybe it's been convincing. But maybe my perception is not quite right. Let's see. Here's the arm and the jacket sleeve, like that. Let's see, gotta have the hair sticking up quite a bit. This was definitely, I want it to be pretty clear that this was supposed to come across as a bit smoother from Chase's perspective. Like, yeah, I'm gonna walk in all smooth and there's gonna be flowers and stuff, and then just nope. This drawing is so not cooperating with me. So, yeah. And then I've got this going on here. And yeah, again, this really is not cooperating with me. Maybe I'm trying to rush too much. But then again, I'm not sure what time it is, and I'm very eager to see what title suggestions there are for that book. I thought about I thought about how to learn foreign languages even though you have a magical translator in your head messing it up for you. Not messing up the communication, but just, it's really hard to learn another language when everything is translated for you. Because, like, reading in another language is, I mean, you don't just have to learn the characters and the sounds, you have to learn the grammar and stuff. Like, if I always had Russian translated for me and stuff, I would, like, who am I kidding? I still can't read Russian. The Cyrillic alphabet is, I can't find a pronunciation guide, which I've heard is actually not even that important, because Russian is one of those languages where they say it's phonetic, but it's really not. I feel like a pronunciation guide would help me learn Russian, but the thing is, even if I can pronounce the words, it doesn't really mean much if I don't know the grammar and stuff. All I know about Russian grammar amounts to they don't have articles. So instead of saying something like, where's the door, you just say, where door. And that would be really hard to learn if I didn't, or if whenever someone spoke Russian to me, I heard English. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. This is just weird stuff that I keep musing about for some reason. I hope I'm not boring you guys too much with my rambling about it. Once again, I did not make a list of topics to talk about, so I have no idea if anything I'm saying is interesting to anybody. But that's what I get for not making a list of topics. Oh yeah, Sir Kunamat, if you're on, thanks again for the promo. It was awesome. Don't know what else to say. If you are not familiar with Sir Kunamat, I regularly do requests for him. I recommend checking him out. He does live streams. Right now he streams Kingdom Hearts every Saturday. And that's always fun to watch and hang out and stuff. So, yeah, be sure to check him out if you haven't already. I imagine at this point we all know each other pretty well, kind of. Like the cast of Friends. Maybe we're not all directly friends, but we kind of have someone we know who knows someone else, and so forth. I don't know what I'm saying, or I'm just trying to hurry up and draw this bouquet because I had a pretty concept for it. Let's see. Why do I have the Sailor Moon theme stuck in my head? Not that I'm complaining, the Sailor Moon theme is really catchy. So, yeah, I'm just almost done with this bouquet, and then I can check out what you guys are saying in the chat as soon as I delete let's invert that, and then select, contract, I'll contract it by 2, and then I can delete everything so that he's on top of everything else in terms of layers. I'm not even gonna draw the skateboard, even though that... You know what? I am gonna draw the skateboard, because that leaves so much negative space. Even though it should really probably be shooting off screen and, I don't know, comically breaking something, I guess. Because physics... yeah, none of this makes any sense. But, I'm gonna check the chat now and see what's going on. Come on. No, don't zoom in like that. I want you to... Ah, fine. I'll just scoot over the way I usually do. Come on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. No, Jason's design, we designed Jason before Voltron Legendary Defender even came out. Let's see. Both of them are pretty bad in their execution, at least. Let's see. Oh, thank you, RDD 2007. Nice to see you here. I do like the word cute in every language. I'm gonna go with that one. Because I think we agreed that, I think we agreed that Claire is not... She doesn't interpret Romeo and Juliet as a love story, she interprets it as a cautionary tale. Cute in every language. There we go. So I don't really think that it would be appropriate to have her reading Romeo and Juliet on Valentine's Day, because she doesn't interpret it that way. Alrighty. And then I can label this line art. But no, Jason's design wasn't really inspired by anyone as far as what I originally did. I'm gonna pull up one of my comics with these two. Comics. I didn't really like how the aged up one came out. I'm gonna go with one of the incorrect quotes, I think. Or maybe the original. Let's see. The family portrait one came out alright as far as the colors go. The line art is really derpy, though. I need to stop saying though so much. Though, thusly, bleh. Like, what am I, Shakespeare? I forgot to draw his hands. Got a little bit of Luke Skywalker syndrome going on there, huh? That is okay. I will just put together a hand real quick. And, there go. And then I just do that. But yeah, I have been thinking about potentially revisiting Jason's character sheet and coming up with a slightly different design that I'm a little happier with than I am with his current design. Just something with a little more understanding of what exactly you're supposed to be going for when you design a character, but I'm not sure. Because I've already pretty well established his design, and then I would have to go and work on redrawing everything. At least everything that involves Jason. So, oh wait, that's supposed to be red. This part of her, or that hair tie, is supposed to be green. Layers, zoom in. Here we go. Alright, this is looking a little bit better. And then his shirt is a slightly lighter green. So there's that. It also has the blue elbows, but I'm going to add those in coloring because I don't want to redo yet another section of line art. Palette. There we go. And then he's got blue pants and light brown boots. That is way more of a flesh tone than it should be. And these are more of a mid-tone brown, but at this point I can't really bring myself to change it too much. Claire's boots are about the same color. I never can seem to decide whether I want to draw them tucked in or not. So there's her jeans, and then she's got her red vest over a darker red shirt. Here we go. Just gotta be thorough coloring everything in. I'm gonna use kind of a pinkish color, I guess, for the book cover. Just to have something a little more Valentine's Day-y, if that's even a word. I don't think it is. So then I'll take this color, bring it down a little for the inside of the page. Alrighty, then I'll take this, give it a slightly reddish tint for the black cat, since, you know, that doesn't quite work. Let's try that. That's a little bit better. Cat's got green eyes. I give the cat really person-like eyes. Do you think I should give him a pink nose? Ugh, I can't seem to talk all day. I can't seem to talk today. I should have done more vocal exercises. And this is probably why radio is not the right career for me. So, yeah. I have the face for it, though. Bad joke. But, let's see. Palette. Gonna make this a little bit more blue. Alrighty, there we go. And then I'm gonna use the same pink for the bouquet. I like to reuse colors a lot because it makes the drawing look more unified. Just if you see a place where you think you can get away with reusing colors, it saves time and it just saves time and it makes your drawing look better without actually putting in too much more effort. So that is my art trick for the for today. If you see a place where you can reuse a color, reuse a color. So of course we've got our roses there, and then I'm just gonna view background color. I'm gonna go with a nice dark blue for the sky out there, and then I'm gonna fill in gray for the whatchamacallit, for the ship walls and floor and stuff. Because even though you don't actually see too much of the gummy ship interior in the actual Kingdom Hearts games that I know of, and I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about Kingdom Hearts. Okay, which eye is this? That is the blue eye. Well, fine. Just pop right out of there, why don't you, reference window? This isn't flipped, is it? Good, it's not flipped. So I can go back to layer 1. And then fill that in. Reuse this color for his teeth. I did not select the right color there. I'm probably gonna go in and add a sweat drop in different colors later, but in the meantime, let's see. Skateboards are usually pretty dark on top, and I'm just gonna go with kind of a light, this color, or maybe I can even reuse this color for the wheels. And then the top edge of the gummy ship I always draw as red. So there's that. And then for this, I don't know, I guess I'll go with the pink again. And then I can fill in with a wood kind of color. Maybe I'll use this color. That looks better. Nobody ever let me become an interior designer. Just don't. That would be a bad idea. If I ever mentioned going into interior design, like, I don't know, do something to stop me. Alright, so for that, I want to take kind of a dark gray and then gradient that way and that way, and then I select down here, gradient that way, and then new layer, put a shadow under here and under here, like that, and then I can add a new layer, and with, oh yeah, I created a new brush for one of the things that I was working on. It is nice and smeary, so I want to go to my brush control. I'll space it out quite a bit more so that it looks a little more cloud-like. Increase the rotate random. Add just a little bit of color jitter. And then we'll see what that looks like. I meant it to kind of have a natural brush texture-ish look, but if you give it this kind of rotate random, it tends to look almost like fur, which I didn't mean it to do. Not that I'm complaining, because it's nice to have a fur texture brush. And then I can filter, blur quite a bit. Duplicate, layer, rotate, flip horizontally, filter, hue, shift that way. Saturate it maybe a little bit more, bring down the brightness a little. Okay, move it down here, like that. And then I can duplicate, filter, hue. Bring down the brightness a lot, hue shift over this way quite a bit, or hold on, cancel, filter, hue, shift it quite a bit, make it really saturated. Maybe if I make it really bright instead. Filter. Let's try an overlay. Okay, that looks more like space. Then I can take this and use one of my sparkle brushes. Okay, let's see what this looks like. There we go. Just gotta keep adding some stars here, and then I can make my brush a little bit smaller and add some smaller star fields over here. Bring down that, and underneath them is my 100%. There we go. And then I can merge those down. And I think I can call this one maybe done enough to check the chat and see what time it is. Oh yeah, we're coming up on the end of the stream. I think I will add the sweat drop I was talking about. So, brush, pen, brush control, bring that down. Did not mean to completely flip this thing. So, yeah, let's just sweat drop right there. You know what, I'm just gonna use that color. Maybe refine the shape a little bit. And then, you know what, I'm just gonna add his eye there, and then I'm gonna color in the white of his eye like this, and then I'm gonna add highlights here and here and here. Alright, now I'm gonna go back and check the chat and see how we're all doing. Alright, what's going on? Thanks. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm just about done. Sorry about the stream buffering. My internet's not that great, but, yeah, feel free to email me. I will be checking my email, but I've got to go if I want to pick up that stuff that I need for that bread I was talking about. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and if this is the last time I see you for today, have a great Valentine's Day. I hope all your plans for today go really well, and I'll be back online in about 3 hours. Bye!